Thank you.
You got it. Well, let's see if it worked. And it worked. Good Monday morning to everybody. Hello. And we are here a little bit earlier than normal. And I have the beautiful Melissa Deely with me today. And she is our VIP Member Monday Spotlight. Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning, Colleen. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes, you're coming all the way from Canada and it's freezing cold. That's why you have a sweater on this morning. And today we're talking about all about our health. And we talk about this all the time, women, taking care of ourselves, being healthy, what we can do to be healthy, to take care of ourselves and how important it is. And I'm going to be the first one to admit, because Melissa knows this, I have been so busy with events that I've had over the last 30 days. I've not been taking care of myself very well as I should be. I mean, I'm still eating healthy. I'm taking care of my foot so it can get better, so I can get back to physical activity on a regular basis. But regardless, there's so much more we could do to focus on our health, because what happens is we usually wind up hitting a brick wall or something and some health problem goes wrong. And that's what puts us flat on our faces. So Melissa, tell everyone a little bit about you and your message for today.
Thank you, Colleen. Yes, so I'm an integrative health practitioner. And what that means is I help people get to the root cause of whatever is going on for them in terms of their health. I also encourage people to be proactive in their health. I like to say health isn't everything, but without it, everything else is nothing. How can you build a business? How can you raise a family? How can you have the energy to get everything done that you are uniquely put on this earth to do if you don't have your health? And how much time is wasted, lying in bed, feeling like crap, wishing you weren't there, and thinking of all the other things you would rather be doing. And so I invite people to shift that mindset. We haven't been taught to optimize our health. We've been taught you get sick, you go to the doctor, they give you a pill, and you get better. But that is failing the world today, because we are the sickest we've ever been, with so much chronic illness, from Alzheimer's and dementia to leaky gut, autoimmune diseases, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, obesity, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I have a favorite saying that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And now I invite people, if you want a different outcome, you need to do things differently. And so it's my mission and passion on this planet to let people know there is another way in terms of looking after our health and regaining our health.
Yeah, I completely agree with you about the insanity part, right? You just continue to repeat the same things. So, when you're saying something, you just say it louder, louder, louder. It's like, no, you're just saying the same words. You need to switch up. You need to say it differently. It's not getting through to everybody. And I agree with you on that. So what are some steps that the women can, really identify? How do I know if I'm healthy? How do I, I told you, I live a pretty healthy life. I work out, I eat healthy, and very conscious about what goes in my body. But still, I've been to several, I want to say like integrated health practitioners, where they're not practicing mainstream medicine, so we're more Eastern than Western medicine, and take, supplements and those types of things, avoid the Western medication. And so, I think I'm healthy, but I've also figured out in the last couple years that I had a high toxicity level of certain things. It's almost like we don't realize what's going on in our bodies, even though we strive to live that healthy lifestyle. So what are a few things, or how do you help women identify that within their bodies and what's happening? You had a questionnaire that you had me fill out that told me a lot. Like I had to, does this happen regularly? How often during the day does it happen? So how can we identify these things?
Right. So there's a couple of things that I do, and I just want to talk a moment to Eastern versus Western. As an integrative health practitioner, my training was taught by a doctor who was failed by Western medicine and told at the age of 17 that he was going to have multiple diseases for the rest of his life and they couldn't help him, and that was it. And he didn't buy into that. And instead, he went on a search to figure out which medicine is the best in all the world. And he trained in traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic medicine of India, and orthomolecular medicine, the study of supplements and herbs and natural remedies, and more. And he has actually fully healed himself. He's now 40, feels better than he did in his 20s because he's no longer, disease burdened. But what he learned is there is no one perfect medicine, but when we pull the best of the best from each of these and we integrate them, then we can truly help people heal. And so that's what my training is bringing all of these things together. So one of the things that we do, and my starting point with people, is to help them discover their toxic load. I ask people, are your trash cans overflowing? And I'm never talking about the ones we put out on the street. I'm talking about our liver and our kidneys, the ones inside our body that are designed to help get our toxins out. But after a lifetime of eating, drinking, and toxins getting in through our food, through our airways, our waterways, our liver and kidneys are getting burdened and bogged down. And if you leave your garbage out on the street for too long, what happens? It starts to rot and smell and attract bugs, and it's really gross. This is what's happening inside our body, except we don't think about it because we don't see it. And when our toxic level or our toxic load gets too high, it triggers inflammation in the body, which then sends signals to turn on disease. So this is where I start with people, is discovering your toxic load. And it's interesting because, as I said, the world is the sickest ever, but I find no one is really asking why. And no one else is really talking about toxic load. And yet we have 100,000 man-made chemicals in our environment today that we did not have 50 and 60 years ago. And in Ayurvedic medicine, in Latin American culture, in Asian culture, they all still do liver detoxes to this day. It's only in the Western medicine world where we think that having a shower and cleaning or cleansing our outer body is enough. But I don't believe that to be the case. I believe that we also need to be cleaning and detoxing our inner body in order to get these toxins out, because we know now that 90 to 95% of all disease starts as a result of the environment you create inside your body. Now, that might sound negative, but I actually find it really empowering because it gives you a choice. The choice on the environment that you're going to create inside your body. And we know how to manage this. We know how to control that environment. And when we create an environment that is inhospitable to disease, then you can live that long, healthy life full of energy and vitality to do all that you want to do, right? So that's step one. And it's very simple. As you said, it's a discover your toxic load quiz. You fill it out, you get a score. And then depending on what your score is, you would start either a 7, a 14, or a 21-day detox program. And then the next step is working with people on doing functional medicine lab tests that let us truly see what is going on inside your gut. Hippocrates said thousands of years ago, all disease starts in the gut. And we now know that's true. And so what is the health of your gut? Is it in balance or is it out of balance? In many cases, it's out of balance with bacterial overgrowth, parasites, yeast, or fungal overgrowth. That's just one lab test we can do. And I have 6 different lab tests that allow me to see what your health is today and where your body is out of balance and where it's deficient and needs support. So my entire practice is around removing your toxicities, supporting your deficiencies, which brings your body back into balance, at which point it heals itself, which is what it's designed to do, just like it heals a cut finger or a broken arm. The problem is our modern world has brought our body so far out of balance that it just needs that little bit of help and guidance to get back into balance, to get back on track in healing. And a body in balance doesn't hold on to excess weight. It doesn't harbor disease. And it does have us fully vital and functioning and feeling amazing.
Yeah, you mentioned something that I want to go back to and really anchor in, which is you mentioned about inflammation. And that is something we can't always feel. And I just want to make that a point to women is our bodies will be inflamed inside and we will have inflammation, which then invites and causes disease. If we can control the inflammation and keep that at all-time lows within our body at minute, then it's so much easier for your body to stay healthy and for it to stay in balance and let go of excess weight and just really be the healthiest body you can have. And it really starts with that inflammation, and the foods that we put in our
100%.
body cause inflammation, and some of the
Yes.
foods we put in our bodies reduce inflammation. So we need to know which ones those are and take care of ourselves. We only have this one time, that we have these bodies in this one life, and it's super important that we spend the time to make sure that we're managing our health and putting time into that.
100%.
Sure.
And I actually have a great lab test that tests the inflammation level within your body. And
Good.
so we see where you're at. And then through supplementation and through food, we bring your body back into balance. And the interesting thing is that when your body is in balance from an inflammation perspective, and your omega-3s and omega-6s in particular are in balance, we lower your risk of sudden death by cardiovascular disease by 90%, 90. And yet there is no doctor out there talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
And the prescription drugs that they put people on who have high blood pressure and heart disease don't offer those kind of results.
Right.
And
they don't.
They don't.
Yeah.
And so this is really important because heart disease is the #1 cause of death in North America. So everyone needs to know this. And that's why I am being incredibly vocal in the work that I do and letting people know that they have other choices.
And Melissa's going to drop all the links in the comments so you guys can just click on the links and get access to the test and her website and some other pieces. But tell us what project you're working on really quick before we go that's going to be coming out soon.
So yes, of course, this is the time of year people start looking towards next year and planning how they're going to look after themselves. And as I said, I invite people to be proactive in their health. So I've created a 2021 Health Kickstart program, which is a 4-week workshop through the month of January and includes the 21-day detox that I will guide people through. And then through the workshop sessions, be teaching you about health and nutrition, lifestyle factors, getting sugar out of your diet, and also where it's sneaking into your diet that you may not be aware of, as well as diets and which one's the right one and the wrong one, et cetera, because there's so much confusion around these things, as well as myth busters. What have you been told that you think you should be doing and you are doing, but is that a myth or is that the truth? And giving people the opportunity to get their questions answered. So it's like having your own personal integrative health practitioner in your back pocket for the month of January at a group price.
Great. Well, thank you, Melissa. Ladies, do this for yourself. This should be your Christmas present to yourself, or tell your husband or your kids when they say, what do you want for Christmas, Mom? That's what you tell them you want for Christmas. And Melissa will put all the details in the comment section. And if you guys have any questions, please be sure to reply in the comment section, and then Melissa can contact you directly. She's going to put all of her contact information in there. Melissa, it is so important we take care of our health. So I can't thank you enough. I'm so honored that you joined us today and shared with us how, as women, for a very incredible price, we can take care of ourselves and really put ourselves first, which is what we need to do if we want to keep pouring our cups into everything else and serving others, which is what we do. We need to make sure our cups are full, but not in an inflammation way. We want to keep our inflammation low, but our cups full, meaning that we're taking care of ourselves. So thank you, Melissa, for being with us this morning. You are a joy, and you are, thank you so much for being a member of Lead Up for Women, and we appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate being here.
Have
Thanks,
a wonderful
Colleen.
rest of your week. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.